All right, let's jump right in. From the time we're kids, we're basically fed this idea that success is built entirely on blood, sweat, and crazy long hours. Just put your head down and grind, right? Well, today's explainer is all about a massive paradigm shift. When you actually look at the data and the real stories of highly successful people, a totally different picture emerges. It turns out money is earned not just by working hard, but by thinking smart.
So, picture this. Imagine two people working equally hard for 10 solid years. I'm talking same early wake-up calls, exact same physical and mental effort, clocking out late every single day. But fast forward a decade, and their bank accounts look completely different. One is totally financially secure, and the other, basically drowning. You really have to ask yourself, what actually made the difference here?
It's a crazy contrast, isn't it? One person grinds for a decade and still struggles with monthly bills, while the other takes that exact same 10 years and builds serious, lasting wealth. Honestly, this completely shatters the myth that sheer effort, or even just dumb luck, is what separates the broke from the wealthy. Think about it. If working harder was the only answer, the folks doing the toughest physical labor would literally be the richest people on the planet. And, well, they aren't. So what's the missing ingredient?
That missing ingredient? It's smart thinking. And by that, I mean using your mind wisely to solve actual problems, create value, and build systems, rather than just endlessly trading your time for a paycheck. Now, don't get me wrong, hard work is absolutely crucial. It's the baseline. It gets your foot in the door. But shifting your mindset to smart thinking, that's what actually lets you walk through the door and, stay in the room. You've got to decouple your earning potential from the sheer number of hours you can physically stay awake.
Section 1. Studying and working smarter.
Let's break this down with a super relatable example to see how the traditional grind mindset kind of falls apart in real life. Think about two students. They both study for exactly 5 hours a day. The first student goes all out, brute forcing it, rereading the exact same pages over and over, probably totally overcaffeinated and completely burnt out. But the second student, they use a system. They go in with a plan, they tackle practice questions, they review their mistakes, and they actually manage their time. They both worked hard, for sure, but that second student is going to get vastly better results. Why? Because they aren't just putting in the time, they're optimizing it.
Section 2. Building systems for success.
Okay, let's scale this up from the classroom to the real world and see how this plays out in business. Imagine a local shop owner. At first, they do literally everything. They unlock the doors, stock the shelves, ring up customers, sweep up at night. They are hustling. But pretty quickly, they hit a wall. You just can't personally serve every single customer forever. Time is finite. So what do? They apply smart thinking. They hire employees to handle the day-to-day operations. Then they bring in technology and systems to manage inventory and sales. Basically, they buy back their own time. They've built a self-sustaining business that actually earns money even when they aren't physically standing at the cash register.
And this leads us to a massive realization. The most successful entrepreneurs out there, they're problem solvers, not just the hardest workers in the room. When they see a giant mountain of work, they don't say, man, I need to stay awake for 72 hours to finish this. No way. They look for ways to build a system that will process that mountain of work for them. It's a total game changer. You're shifting from being the engine of your business to being the architect of it.
Section 3. Creating value over time. So how can you actually apply this today? It all starts with the conversations you have with yourself. Honestly, if you take away just one thing from this explainer, make it this. Completely change your internal dialogue. It's a total trap to constantly ask, how can I work more? Or how can I pick up another shift? Instead, scratch that. Start asking, how can I solve a problem? How can I make something genuinely useful for people? And how can I level up my skills? You're basically rewiring your brain to stop chasing exhausting hours and start chasing ways to become intrinsically valuable. And where do you put these new skills to work? Well, the internet today is just an incredible goldmine for high-value digital opportunities. Whether you're a student or a professional, you can learn graphic design, video editing, programming, content creation, digital marketing, all right from your laptop. And these are definitely not just hobbies. These are highly sought-after skills that can absolutely transform into serious, scalable income. By mastering these, you're building the ability to solve higher-level problems for folks all over the globe. But listen, before you even think about investing in real estate or the stock market, you've got to invest in the engine driving the whole thing. You. You have to invest in yourself first. Read books, level up your communication skills, maybe improve your English proficiency so you can tap into a global market. Get a solid grasp on basic finance so you actually know how money flows. Look, this kind of continuous self-improvement probably won't make you a millionaire by next Tuesday, but it compounds over time. It increases your personal value year after year. And the absolute best part,
Knowledge is the ultimate safe asset because absolutely no one can ever take it away from you.
It really all boils down to this idea. Money shouldn't be your only goal. Your goal should be to become valuable. That captures the literal core of our whole explainer today. If you're only chasing the paper, you're always going to be running. But when you pour your energy into creating undeniable value for other people by solving their problems, the financial rewards, they will naturally follow.
Section 4, Smart Money Management.
Okay, so what do you actually do when that value finally turns into tangible income? Well, this right here is exactly why so many incredibly hard workers still end up broke. They fall into the classic spending trap, literally spending every dime the second it hits their bank account. But smart thinkers operate totally differently. They save a chunk of their income, they invest it wisely, and they let that money grow over time. And you don't even need a massive salary to kick this off. Even if you're a student just managing a tiny weekly allowance, building those budgeting and saving habits early on is absolutely crucial, because the small habits you build today become your massive financial strengths tomorrow.
So, if we're going to write all this out as a formula, it'd look exactly like this. Success equals effort plus knowledge plus creativity plus discipline. Look, don't let the illusion of overnight success on social media fool you. True financial strength doesn't happen over a long weekend. It comes from a lifelong commitment to learning, failing, picking yourself back up, and trying again. The world is constantly changing, and the skills that pay the bills today might be totally obsolete tomorrow. That means lifelong learning is, without a doubt, the greatest financial advantage you could ever possibly have.
I want to wrap up this explainer by leaving you with a really powerful question to think about regarding your own daily routine. Will you read one more page, practice one more skill, and think one idea deeper today? Or will you just wake up tomorrow and try to work harder? Because the smart systems and habits you build today, those are exactly what will completely change your financial future.